At the start of the month, we took a look at the best footballer at every age from 16 to 40. In the comments section of that video, a lot of people asked us to take a look at the best footballer in terms of the starting letter of their surnames, going from A to Z. We're not ones to shy away from a challenge, so today that's exactly what we're going to do. For clarity, I'll repeat that it is the first letter of the player's surname that we are interested in. In the case of a player being particularly well known by a single name, such as Ronaldinho or Romario, we'll take the first letter of their common name. For example, if the player was Ronaldo Luis Nazario de Lima, he would come under R rather than L, since he is almost never referred to by his full name. Except, Ronaldo won't be featuring in this video since we're only looking at current players and the inclusions are based on current ability. Here are our views on the best footballer whose surname starts with each letter of the alphabet. A. Sergio Aguero. Okay, as we rattle through, we will mention some honourable mentions if we found any to be tricky decisions. In the case of A, the first letter in the alphabet, it was a choice between Sergio Aguero and Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Aubameyang is quick and lethal on his day, having scored prolifically for the last 6 or 7 seasons now. But our choice is Aguero. The Argentinian has been scoring for fun for more than a decade, but his all-round game has got even better under Pep Guardiola. Aguero has the best minutes per goal record of any player in Premier League history, and he's our choice for the letter A. B. Kevin De Bruyne. This was a tough one. For a long time, Gareth Bale would have been the automatic choice for most people for B, although we'd probably have gone for Sergio Busquets for most of the last 10 years. As of 2019 though, we overlooked both of the La Liga stars, with Kevin De Bruyne making it 2 from 2 for Manchester City. De Bruyne is one of the finest midfield players in the world, with his magnificent touch, technique, vision and awareness making him a dream for Pep Guardiola. He was the standout player in a record-breaking Man City side last season. C. Philippe Coutinho. You can make a good case for PSG hitman Edinson Cavani for the letter C, but in the end, we've given it to Philippe Coutinho. Coutinho became the third most expensive footballer of all time when he left Liverpool to join Barcelona in January of 2018, and a year on, he's now looking right at home at the Camp Nou. One of the most dangerous footballers on the planet when shooting from range, Coutinho has played as part of both a midfield 3 or out wide on the left. It's a tight call in fairness, and we wouldn't begrudge anyone who leant towards Cavani. D. Virgil van Dijk. Another tricky one for D, where Paulo Dybala and Virgil van Dijk are the obvious candidates. Again, it could go either way, but we've edged towards Van Dijk, who is at least in the conversation if not leading the way in terms of the best centre-backs in the world right now. Powerful but composed, Van Dijk always seems capable of going up a gear, and since defenders are so often overlooked, we're going to give him this one. E. Christian Eriksen. No arguments here. Christian Eriksen is undoubtedly the finest footballer whose surname begins with an E in our eyes. The former Ajax prospect has gone from strength to strength at Tottenham Hotspur, and it's crucial that the North Londoners tie him down on a long-term deal in the near future. Such a neat and tidy operator, with fantastic vision and a lethal long-range effort, which he so often reserves for when it is needed most, Eriksen ranks among the best creative midfield players around as far as we're concerned. F. Fernandinho. It was suggested on our age video that I might be a Manchester City fan, given that 4 of Pep Guardiola's players featured, and I fear that it could be a similar story here. I might point out, for those of you who are unfamiliar with the UK, that this isn't a Mancunian accent. Indeed, I have no affinity with the club, but anyone who would attempt to deny the quality of the players in their squad is either disingenuous or doesn't have a very good understanding of the sport. Options for the letter F include Roberto Firmino and Nabil Fekir, but our choice is Fernandinho, quite possibly the finest holding midfielder on the planet right now. A player who does the simple things brilliantly and makes the very difficult things look effortlessly simple, Fernandinho's performance against Liverpool earlier this season was among the best I've ever seen in the Premier League, and finding a future replacement for him may prove to be Guardiola's toughest task at the Etihad. G. David De Gea. David De Gea's heroics against Tottenham, which doesn't even rank among the Spaniards' top 5 or 6 performances in a Man United shirt, were a timely reminder of what an extraordinary goalkeeper he really is. De Gea has had his critics following a poor World Cup and a slight drop in standards earlier this season, but we still think he's the best keeper on the planet. We ought to mention Antoine Griezmann and Diego Godin, who are both among the top 5 or 6 players in their respective positions, but as number 1, it's De Gea who gets our vote. H. Eden Hazard. An early man who so often misses out in our list by virtue of being up against some ridiculous talent, and inevitably then gets me in lots of trouble in the comments, I'd take great delight in including Eden Hazard in this list. By far and away Chelsea's star man for so long now, Hazard has sometimes been criticised for not having the offensive output of an attacking player supposedly among the bracket of player just below Messi and Ronaldo. Hazard tops the assist charts in the Premier League this season though, and he provides his team with so much more than that. A frightening prospect whenever he picks up the ball, there are few finer manipulators of a ball on the planet. I. Mauro Icardi. There are 2 world-class players whose surnames begin with I that we are big fans of, namely Isco and Mauro Icardi. The best is yet to come from Isco though, so right now we're going with the Argentine. Icardi is still only 25, but this is his 5th season as the main man at Inter Milan, having bagged 121 goals in 205 games for the club. A 2-time Serie A top scorer, Icardi is like a bloodhound when it comes to sniffing out chances in the box. His movement and awareness are fantastic, and he has a lethal right foot in addition to the danger he presents in the air. J. Jorginho. Brazilian-born Italian international Jorginho is a bit of a manager's dream. So industrious and hard-working, but also a fine passer of the ball who is rarely caught in possession. It's not hard to see why Man City may have identified the 27-year-old as a possible replacement for Fernandinho, but in the end, the former Napoli man was reunited with Maurizio Sarri at Chelsea. Jorginho is a player that we like a lot, so he takes this one ahead of Gabriel Jesus, for now at least. K. Harry Kane. Yeah, English bias, yada yada yada. I was surprised in our age video at how many people who don't watch Harry Kane regularly, and as such, have no idea just how good the Tottenham man really is. The World Cup Golden Boot winner has just about every attribute that you could want in a centre forward. His hold at play is good, his movement is fantastic, and he can score almost any type of goal from almost any range. Undoubtedly though, Kane's finest trait is his mentality. Never have I seen a centre forward so unaffected by confidence or missed opportunities. Kane just dusts himself down and keeps going until his name is on the score sheet, and for that reason, his goal-scoring record is going to be quite special when he hangs up his boots. A very honourable mention to Toni Kroos, who is a magnificent passer of the ball, but we can't overlook Kane right now. L. Robert Lewandowski. From one world-class centre-forward to another, Robert Lewandowski is another player who featured in our age video. As I said then, I'm not as impressed when I watch Lewandowski play as I was 4 or 5 years ago, but invariably, he still finds the back of the net. He's just ridiculously prolific, with 22 goals in 24 games so far this season, and there can be no doubts about who gets our pick for the letter L. M. Lionel Messi. There are actually a few very good footballers whose surnames begin with M, such as Kylian Mbappe and Luka Modric. Let's not kid ourselves though, Lionel Messi is on a different planet. If there has been a better footballer than Lionel Messi, I haven't seen them. N. Neymar. It's got to the point where Neymar is now a footballer, seemingly vastly underrated by a lot of people. It is certainly true that Ligue 1 is an inferior division to La Liga, but that doesn't mean that Neymar has regressed as a player since leaving Barcelona for PSG. A magnificent dribbler whose attacking output in terms of combined goals and assists is bettered only by Lionel Messi this season, I believe, Neymar is at least the 3rd best attacking player in the world right now. O. Jan Oblak. Given the miserable situation Mesut Ozil has found himself in over the last couple of seasons, this one is a slam dunk for Jan Oblak. Oblak has been fantastic for the last 4 years now, and he's still only 26, meaning he's potentially got another decade in him at the highest level. Having replaced Thibaut Courtois as Atletico Madrid's number 1, I doubt Diego Simeone would swap his first choice for the Real Madrid shotstopper right now. P. Paul Pogba. Paul Pogba can be a difficult player to properly assess, in part due to his very mixed form since signing for Manchester United. It seems like there are no half measures when it comes to Pogba with a lot of people. He's either the best midfielder in the world or a dabbing fraud who down tools at United under Mourinho. Well, why can't he just be a very good player who is a thoroughly capable match winner with an eye for a pass and a knack for bagging a goal, but occasionally a little positionally naive and not always great when tasked with too much defensive responsibility? That's basically our view anyway, and there's no doubt that he's shown a lot more of his qualities since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer took the reins as Manchester United manager, so he gets our vote ahead of Gerard Piqué and Miralem Pjanic for now. Q. Fabio Quagliarella. Unsurprisingly, we are slightly less spoilt for choice when it comes to the letter Q. Nevertheless, there are three very good candidates, including the mercurial talent that is Ricardo Quaresma, currently of Besiktas, and the very gifted Colombian Juan Quintero, who is currently on loan at River Plate from Porto. The man who takes the title for us though is Fabio Quagliarella, who is aging like a fine wine. The 35-year-old is having a renaissance to his career at Sampdoria right now, with 12 goals from 18 games in Serie A this season, making him the division's third highest scorer. R. Cristiano Ronaldo. One of the two players who have scored more goals than Fabio Quagliarella in Serie A this season, as with M, the player chosen for the letter R was obviously a given. Cristiano Ronaldo may be 33 now, but he's still among the top two players on the planet. From a wizard of the wing to a prolific poacher, Ronaldo has transitioned a lot over the years. The one thing that has never wavered is his extraordinary impact upon games of football. We'll give a mention to Sergio Ramos since he ranks among the best players in the world in his position, but there was never any doubt here. S. Mohamed Salah. If you were picking a letter in which you had to build a whole 11 from, you could do a lot worse than the letter S. Barcelona forward Luis Suarez and Manchester City's ever-brilliant midfield maestro David Silva deserve the most honourable of mentions, but we have to give it to Mohamed Salah as of January 2019. Having set a record for the most goals in a 38-game Premier League season in his debut campaign at Anfield, the Egyptian has continued that form into the 2018-19 season, having bagged 17 goals in 30 games so far this term. T. Thiago. A player who flourished under Pep Guardiola at both Barcelona and Bayern Munich, it's not hard to see why. Thiago is an incredibly gifted midfield operator born out of the La Masia mould. Brilliant on the ball and effortless in the pass, Thiago has fantastic vision and he has consistently had the highest pass success rate in the Bundesliga over the last few years. The only doubt about including Thiago is that some people do refer to him as Thiago Alcantara, but the vast majority simply go for Thiago, so we're happy with him as our choice for T. U. Samuel Umtiti. You might think we'd struggle for a credible candidate for the letter U, but there is actually a very good one in the form of Samuel Umtiti. A World Cup winner and a regular at Barcelona, Umtiti broke through when he was very young at Lyon, meaning the 25-year-old is already closing in on 300 appearances. Athletic and alert, but also composed on the ball and neat in the pass, Umtiti is a top-class centre-back, and the right choice for the letter U. V. Raphael Varane. It just so happens that France's World Cup winning centre-back partners feature consecutively in this 7, with Raphael Varane beating Arturo Vidal to top spot for the letter V. Varane is slightly older, and we think slightly better than his international teammate. Also a thoroughly competent ball player, Varane is so quick and powerful, strong but clean in the tackle, and positionally very good as well. W. Kyle Walker. W was probably the toughest of all the letters, and our top 3 were Willian, Axel Witsel, and Kyle Walker. In truth, we wouldn't argue with anyone who went for either Willian or Witsel, but we just edged towards Walker in the end. Last season, we would have been quite confident in that decision, but the Englishman's form has wavered at times this term. At his best, he's among the best right-backs in world football. X. Granit Xhaka. There isn't a great deal of choice when it comes to X, so Granit Xhaka was a pretty safe bet in the end. In fairness to the Swiss international, he has made sizable improvements under Unai Emery this season, primarily thanks to Lucas Torreira taking a lot of the defensive responsibility away from him. Is he a top 4 player? We probably still need a little convincing, but we've no doubt that he's the best player whose surname starts with an X. Y. Andrei Yarmolenko. Having made a decent start to life in the Premier League with West Ham in August and September, Andrei Yarmolenko was ruled out for 6 months with a nasty Achilles injury in October. A tall and talented right winger, capable of setting up and scoring goals, Yarmolenko spent 9 very productive years at Dynamo Kiev before joining Borussia Dortmund in 2017. That move wasn't a success, but he should be a key man at West Ham, and he may have to step into Marko Arnautovic's shoes when he returns from injury. Z. Piotr Zielinski. From Alexander Zinchenko at Manchester City to Pablo Zabaleta at West Ham, finding talented players with surnames that begin with a Z wasn't as difficult as you might think. Seeing off the competition to claim the King of the Zs title though, and as such the final player to feature in this list, is Napoli midfielder Piotr Zielinski. The technically gifted 24-year-old central midfielder is a fine ball player who is capable of splitting a defence with a clever through ball. Zielinski is building an impressive reputation for himself in Naples and has already won 39 caps for Poland. So that's it for today's Not Actually a 7. As always, let us know any new video ideas you'd like to see from us in the comments. Thanks for watching, give us a like if you enjoyed the video, and feel free to subscribe and turn on notifications for HITC Sevens for more from us.